tragedy that was set was that he didn't treat a firearm as though it was loaded. 2, he pointed the firearm at Miss Ashley Swayze. 3, he had his finger on the trigger as he was leveling the firearm at Miss Swayze. And lastly, the safety wasn't even on. It's a bolt-action rifle.
No one, not Dylan, not his parents, realized that the gun was placed in their closet, loaded.
911, what is your emergency?
My girlfriend, he needed to she got shot.
What happened, sir? What happened, sir?
The gun went off, it was, and she got, it just...
Okay, what happened?
We were messing around with the gun and she got shot.
And how old was she when she passed away? Take your time, that's all right.
15.
Based on your examination of Miss Swayze, were you able to make a determination as to the cause of her death?
Yes.
And what was that?
I called it intraoral gunshot wound of head and neck.
The wound, the gunshot wound that Miss Swayze sustained, was that a survivable wound?
Obviously not.
How much weight would it take for someone to pull that trigger then?
You could equate it to, let's say, a sugar bag. If you could find one that was 5 pounds, that's what will be required to pull the trigger for the firearm to discharge.
She was at our house almost every day. She was part of the family, basically, because she, did a lot of things with us, spent most of the holidays with us. We always had, big gatherings for most of the holidays, family and friends, and she was always a part of that. Really, I just, trusted that, it would be, because I know in my younger son stays in that room too, I just felt like an unloaded gun, as long as the bullets were in my room, that, it wouldn't hurt anybody.
Dylan came out of the room, said Ashley was shot. I didn't believe him at first,
Why not?
I thought he might be joking or something like that. I mean, something that I would never imagine happening in a million years.
But you guys weren't arguing over anything today?
Nothing.
Nothing, everything was good?
Everything was perfect.
While I was looking down the sights, all of a sudden I seen Ashley step right in front of the end of the barrel with her mouth wide open. And in a split second, I heard a loud sound. It sounded like a book smacking the ground or something. I didn't even think Ashley had been shot. And then another reason was because she was just standing there for a minute, and she was just looking at me, and then she fell to the ground.
Did you know that firearm was loaded?
No.
Did you intentionally point that firearm at Ashley?
No.
Do you have any idea why she walked in front of that gun?
No.
Did you intentionally pull that trigger?
No.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is not a case of who done it. You don't have to decide who killed Ashley Swayze. He's been sitting in court with you all week, the person who killed Miss Swayze. He's sitting right over there, and his name is Dylan Wisniewski. They were so confident in his being responsible for that weapon that they let him put it in his bedroom that he shared with a younger brother, and there was also a younger sister in the home. That's how comfortable they were in his ability to handle that firearm.
We all know that Dylan was not given the proper training or instruction on how to handle firearms. But ladies and gentlemen, the law doesn't require you to have formal training to own and handle a firearm.
Defense counsel would also have you speculate about whether or not she bumped into a gun. You didn't hear anything about bumping into a gun. Just think about that for a minute. If she bumped into the gun and her mouth is this close, or there's a loose contact, as the doctor described, where's that bullet going? She bumped into it. She's bumping into it with her tongue? Come on, really?
State of Florida versus Dylan Stanley Wisniewski. Verdict. We, the jury, find as follows. As to the defendant in this case, count 1, manslaughter with a firearm. The defendant is guilty of manslaughter.
And Mr. Wisniewski, I'm sentencing you to serve 10.5 years in the Department of Corrections